So hi guys, I'm gonna record this video today, but I will probably post it after the weekend, as I'm going to have a very busy weekend with my friend who comes here from Berlin to spend some time together. So as usual, I had something else in my head, but I decided to come back to the topic I have had in my head for a very long time, which I partially posted last year as my Insta stories or WhatsApp updates, status updates, and so on. Namely, crying. Crying again? Dottie, you have already talked about crying. Yes, but this time I want to highlight that men cry too. Surprise for some of you. Hopefully, for most of you, it's not a surprise. So, yeah, it's my key sentence. Men cry too. But why do I want to talk about it? Yeah, there are many reasons. Therefore, look, my Agnya chakra, my third eye, is itching. So you know, it's like ascension, knowledge, forgiveness. We live in a society that still kind of discriminates all genders. Of course, nowadays it's a little bit more difficult as we are aware of the fact that it's not so easy, so like male, female, and that's all we have, also other genders, but basically we differentiate between men and women, usually. I mean mostly regarding social roles. I'm not going to discriminate here. The LGBTQ community, I'm gonna talk about it later, but this main division where two genders or two sexes still sometimes kind of fight with each other. And today I'm gonna speak for men. Some of you will probably get angry or get triggered immediately that you should be a feminist, you should fight for women's rights, women are still discriminated, and so on. Of course, I'm not I'm not negating it, as we still have glass ceiling in a lot of like businesses, areas, and so on. That's true. And there we should fight for equal treatment, for equal payments, and equal salaries, and so on. That's true. Women are still discriminated regarding, for example, their decision regarding pregnancy, keeping the baby or not keeping the baby. It's a very heated debate still in some countries. I'm not negating it, and of course we're gonna talk about it as well. Because in this area women need support, but men do need support too, because they have been deprived by most maybe all societies, no matter if it's more Western or somewhere in the East. Men have been deprived their right to be vulnerable, to show emotions, to feel hurt, to cry, unfortunately. And I will be mean in my sentence, but I will surprise you. They also have feelings, they are also hurt. They have their inner problems, because you know, in feminism, we have forgotten about one very important thing, or maybe not we, most of us. And in fighting for women's rights, we also forget about men a little bit. I know it's triggering what I'm saying, but it's true. I will come back to the 90s, when I was a teen, when I was a young person, and we were all feminists. We wanted to be feminists. We watched such movies. We read Bridget Jones's Diary. Oh, I've mentioned this book again, and other books. there were a lot of singers, musicians who had songs with such texts and so on. And in our fight for women's rights, we started fighting not for equal treatment for everybody, but we started hating men. We started hating men, and unfortunately, I can tell you from my perspective, and I have very good memory. I remember me as a teen and girls who were like 10 or 20 years older, so in their 20s, 30s, we like hated on men. We wanted to show that we are much better, that they are weak, that they are nothing, that we do not need them. We do not need them. We are not gonna marry like our mothers and grandmas did. We don't need anyone and anything and so on. Really stupid idea. Trust me. Of course, I'm not forcing anyone to get married because it's not obligatory. So if you do not want to and you do not feel like, you don't feel that it's your way, it's totally fine. But the whole movement was a little bit harsh, and I also had to grow up to understand it and to change my perspective. Fortunately, I have also learned in my very adult life that we have the right to change our mind. You know, you don't need to stick to your old beliefs. Very often your old beliefs are self-limiting beliefs or generally discriminating beliefs, and it's fair to say, I have changed my mind due to the fact or because of. So, what is crucial here? When you analyze the statistics, I've read statistics from Eastern, Central and Western Europe, and from the US. Statistic regarding, I don't want to use one word that is not the favorite word of any social media, and it can block my accounts. So the decision to take your life, you know what I mean. So such statistics show that unfortunately it happens much more often to men than women. Of course, someone may argue, yes, because we are women, we are really strong and so on. Yes, thanks heavens we are strong. Thanks heavens there are also other people who are strong. But there are also people who are not that strong and who unfortunately take this decision. Who take this decision and they do not decide to stay with us any longer. And unfortunately, these are very often men. Okay, coming back, you know, my ADHD loops are sometimes terrible. Coming back to what I said about our societies. Our societies require men to be tough all the time, to never show their feelings, to never show their weaknesses, to never show their tears, unfortunately. And actually in every language I speak, and I speak like 8 of them and understand a few more, there are sayings, there are proverbs, there are some kind of collocations that associate being weak with a woman, which is of course very harmful and unkind toward women, but they are used as kind of, I don't know how I should formulate it. They are used as a kind of abuse against men, because if guys show their feelings, actually it starts when they are boys, when they're still kids. Come on, kids have their feelings, you know, their nervous system is still not well developed, their brain is still developing, and they frequently do not know how to cope with emotions because they haven't learned it yet, because their brains are not well developed and they are still learning. And what do most people unfortunately say? Okay, I hope soon it's not gonna be most, but still you can hear it everywhere. Don't be a girl. Don't be like a girl. Don't cry like a girl. Don't be a pussy. And they hear it from the very beginning when they are boys. So girls are allowed to show their feelings. Okay, girls are also required to be always calm and polite and so on and so forth. So it's also very harmful. But it's, as I said, it's for another video. But boys are not allowed to show their emotions because they are pussy. They are girl. And you know, it's kind of depreciation. And then when they are adult guys, when they are men, they hear the same. They hear the same. Don't be a pussy. Don't be a woman. Don't be like a woman. Don't be like a girl. You know, you have no balls. Why are you crying? Men don't cry. It's the men. It's the main. Sorry, not men. It's the main saying for men. Men don't cry. Great. Actually, I have experienced it even myself, because I was, due to some circumstances I've already told you about, I was kind of raised like a boy when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I still had to prove that I'm better than boys, that I'm like a boy, that I'm like a man, that I'm tough, and so on. And I was also punished for showing my emotions. So I learned not to cry, even if I was really in mental pain. Actually, I learned to cry first when I was teenager, and I started like freeing myself and being more independent. So I've experienced it as well. But coming back to adult guys, they are constantly being told not to show their emotions. And you know, we all live in the same world. We all have more or less the same problems. The problems in our families, the problems with our partners, with our jobs, burnout, being overworked, you know, being triggered all the time, and so on and so forth. The modern world is not a very friendly place where we are bombarded with information, with triggers, with all possible things all the time. All the time, where it's the media, it's the social media, it's the society, it's our work, all the requirements for multitasking. Of course, some people are better at multitasking, some are really not adjusted to it. And you know, it's a burden for all of us, no matter if we belong to this women or men group or any other gender. And still, it's fine if you are a woman and you show your emotions and you cry. Of course, there are still some circles and groups where women are also not allowed to show their emotions because you know, they are fighting with this glass ceiling and so on, and this stupid requirement toward both genders or both sexes is then nobody is allowed to cry. But still, it's more acceptable that women talk about their emotions when women talk to other women or some guys. They show their vulnerability. They show their feelings. They show their sadness and so on. And men, they should wear a mask. They are not allowed to do it. And then everything that actually should get out with a heartfelt conversation with your friends or acquaintances or even colleagues, with the tears, with all the sadness, everything gets accumulated inside. And it's breaking their psyche, is breaking also their bodies, and we have all of possible illnesses then. That's the consequence. Mainly mental problems, which then you know, are reflected in various ways. It's not harsh depressions leading to those decisions that are final decisions, but also a lot of problems with some kind of stuff like alcohol, drugs, and other substances. So yeah, exactly these things. A lot of people seek like kind of comfort, drinking or doing such things. That's one of the things. So depression, other problems, but it's also then physical problems, because our mental state gets reflected in our bodies, and those psychosomatic symptoms are very frequent. So what I want to say to everyone, no matter which sex or gender do you associate yourself with, give everyone the right to show emotions, to show sadness, to be vulnerable, and give them support. And give this right to yourself, to show your emotions, to show your sadness, to show your vulnerability, to cry. Really, from my own perspective, I can tell you, I hope and I know actually that there are more people like me on both sides, and I have a lot of male and female friends who think the same. Of course, my heart breaks for everyone who cries, who is sad, who needs support, and I'm always there to listen to. But I kind of even more appreciate if it is a man, if it is my male friend who opens in front of me with their feelings, with their sadness, with their tears, seeking for some kind of comfort or understanding. And I personally can even appreciate it more when a man does it, because I know how hard it is, to break those society stereotypes and break free from those, from this mental prison, actually from this cage, and to show emotions. So from my perspective, still in this society, especially if you were born some years ago, because as I said, no matter what people say about the youngest generations, the so-called Z generation, in really numerous areas, they are much more open, and they are not scared to express themselves, and it's great actually. But if you were born in 80s, 70s, 60s, and before, then you were really taught that men don't cry. Men are always tough. Men have no emotions. Men are never weak. So if you were born in those times and you were ready to open, you are a hero to me. You are a hero to me. And the hero can also cry. Trust me. So I want to show my appreciation to everyone who shows their emotions and who is brave enough to be vulnerable and to seek for comfort, for support, for help. And recently I was asked why I'm posting these videos if I don't have thousands of followers. It doesn't make any sense, because I'm not gonna earn anything from it and so on. I'm not doing it to earn anything, money or popularity. I'm not gonna be a celebrity. But as my favorite reader, Kelly, said, if your video goes to one person who needed it and you help one person, it's enough. And I'm of exactly the same opinion. If my video reaches one person who needs it, it's enough. And you know, they reach actually many more people. I do not have any, any large comment sections below my videos. There are not so many comments there. There are just a few. But some of them are already crucial. But I get quite a lot private messages from people who know me, and sometimes people who don't know me, because you can find some kind of a contact link to me, so you can contact me via various social media and via various channels. So I get a lot of positive feedback, but the most difficult, the most heartbreaking messages, the deepest and the most wounded messages were from guys, really. The toughest feedback is from guys who write in private, because they are still, not everybody wants to speak about their problems publicly, and it's fully understandable. But still, most of them also do not want to show that as guys they have some weaknesses. But fortunately, they have trust in me, and they contact me directly with their problems, with their fears, with their traumas, with their need to find help and support and comfort. So I have heard quite a few personal stories recently. Some people shared their fears regarding their mental state and their darkest thoughts, those darkest thoughts, or their, kind of neurodivergence things, and so on, or their very personal and tough stories. And I really appreciate each and every feedback when somebody trusts me. I am also very happy that, of course, as I told you, self-development, ascending and so on, it's an ongoing process. It's a never-ending process, but I'm happy that I'm vibrating high enough to be able to lift those people up and to carry them somewhat with me. Because probably if we had met like 2 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to help anyone. Now I am. Oh my god, my other phone is vibrating. I hope it's not gonna disturb this video too much. Anyway, let's summarize, because it was actually my main thought and one thought. Men cry. Men should cry. Men should cry out their pain, their wounds, their feelings, their traumas. And we all should support each other. And we all are allowed to have our moments of weakness. Because actually, those moments of weakness, if you're able to share them with others, are also the moments of our heroism. So, what I want to say, I'm sending you lots of light and love from my side. No matter who you are, where you are from, how old you are, in which state you are, you can always turn to me. But try to turn to people who are around you and whom you can trust, or you feel you can trust. Sometimes you need to take this leap of faith and trust someone. And then you may be surprised, because help can come from a very unexpected source. So, once again, sending you a lot of love and light, and we're gonna see each other in the following videos. Bye, guys.